Here are the top 5 things not to do in Australia. From holiday planning to Aussie coffee culture and the dangers lurking in the bush, I've made these mistakes so you don't have to. So let's avoid these top 5 blunders and you'll have a legendary Aussie adventure. Let's go. Number 1, don't forget Aussie BBQ etiquette. Here are the unknown rules that everyone knows, and the last one is super important. So let's start by addressing the elephant in the room, or the shrimp. Aussies do not throw shrimp on the barbie. That myth was an American TV ad aimed at Americans. Croc Dundee made us believe it, bless him, but it's not true. For a start, Aussies don't even say shrimp, they call them prawns. So rule number 1, don't ever say, let's throw a shrimp on the barbie, to an Aussie, even as a joke. I mean, Aussies have a great sense of humour, but if you say that, it'll be met with a sarcastic, thanks, champ. And believe me, that's a major burn. Rule number 2, if you're invited to an Aussie barbecue, bring something to share. It's common courtesy and shows true blue Aussie hospitality, and leave any leftovers behind. Rule number 3, bring your own drinks. Whether it's beer, wine, or soft drinks, it's the norm and to be expected to BYO, bring your own. And it's not that the host doesn't want to accommodate, but it means that you have a drink that you'll like and it makes the host's life a lot easier. It's just kind of the way it's done in Australia. And sharing a cold one with friends around the barbie is a big part of the Aussie experience. So come prepared to enjoy the relaxed, laid-back atmosphere of the classic Aussie barbecue that they're known for. Also, and I love this, I live near Brisbane in Australia, and barbecues are pretty much a commonplace all year round. I know it sounds silly, but in the UK, we just buy these disposable barbecues just in summer and then forget about them the next year, because obviously they're disposable. But over in Australia, people have barbecues all the time, ready to go, like on the porch or somewhere. It's amazing. The barbecue in Australia is a classic and well-used kitchen tool. And finally, and most importantly, rule number 4, and I mean it most importantly, because this is one of my favorite things about living in Australia, like where I live on the Sunshine Coast. But you do not want to do this wrong, otherwise it's gross. So where I live on the Sunshine Coast, you have these amazing public picnic areas that are free to use. I mean, in the UK, we love the picnic we do. We're like hobbits, we want to eat all around the day. But to use a barbecue area in our local parks, most of the time we need to book them and pay in advance just to use a public barbecue area. And we don't even get guaranteed the weather. But these beautiful Aussie barbecue areas are a dream. I mean, check out this one. You have a barbecue area with a beach view. It's stunning. But now this may be common sense to you, but it wasn't to me when I first used one. So of course, when we got to the barbecue area, we cleaned it, we put oil on it, and we did all our cooking, etc. And it was a great time until people started telling me that at night, sometimes people use these barbecue areas to relieve themselves. And we ate off it. So please, for the love of all that is good, if you're going to use one of these free, beautiful barbecue picnic areas, cook your food on a tray you bring from home. Or, baking sheets, tinfoil, whatever you use. Not obviously baking sheets, but so yeah, those are the unknown but known rules of the classic Aussie barbecue. Please pay attention to number 4. Number 2, don't travel to Australia at the wrong time. So Australia's seasons are flipped compared to the UK and US. So planning the time of your trip is key. If you want to see the Great Barrier Reef, come in the Aussie winter, which is June to August, to avoid the stinger season. Ugh. And when it's summer in Australia, December to February, that's the time I would visit South Australia, Victoria, Melbourne, Sydney, because the summers are not going to be as humid as they are in Queensland and Northern Territory. Also, in February in Adelaide, they have the Adelaide Fringe Festival, which is super cool. So please don't let poor timing turn your dream holiday into a disaster. Number 3, don't diss Bunnings. Bunnings. It's not just a hardware store, it's a national pastime and basically an Aussie institution. Known for its vast range of home improvement products, Bunnings is where Aussies go for everything, from garden supplies and power tools to those unexpected decor finds. What truly sets Bunnings apart is the community feel. Weekend visits often include a snag from the Sausage Sizzle fundraiser, kids' DIY workshops, and a casual wander through the aisles. And yes, the classic Bunnings snag. It's more than just sausage and bread. It's an Aussie icon, a Saturday morning tradition, and a symbol of community spirit. First of all, it's simple yet perfect. A juicy grilled sausage nestled in a thick slice of white bread with a squirt of tomato or brown sauce. But what really makes a Bunnings snag amazing is the experience around it. I mean, you're not just grabbing a quick bite, you're contributing to a local cause. Yes, a sausage sizzle is usually run by community groups raising funds for everything from local sports teams to school projects. So every bite you take is helping someone out. It's like charity wrapped up in bread. And these sausage sizzle stands are booked out by organisations months in advance because it is an honour to have your stand at your local Bunnings. And let's not forget the atmosphere. Bunnings, 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 Bunnings. Just picture walking around the aisles of Bunnings with a snag in one hand and some garden supplies in the other. It's a dream come true. So whether you're a seasoned DIY enthusiast or just popping in for some potting mix, a Bunnings snag turns an ordinary errand into a beloved weekend ritual. And also, you're never gonna shop hangry. That's a thing. It's comfort food and community spirit, and I'm pretty sure it's one of your 5 a day. And Bunnings is cool no matter what generation. They even threw a rave there recently. And this is a terrible ongoing joke, but a lot of women say if you want to find an Aussie husband, don't go on the dating apps, you go to Bunnings. Want a man that can do handy electrical work? Go to the electrical aisle. Want a man who knows about gardening? Go to the gardening section. And you can even bring your fluffy friend with you as your wingman. Yeah, you can actually put your dog in a trolley and take them shopping with you. So Bunnings, not just a DIY store, it's about camaraderie, finding that perfect plant or gadget that you didn't even know you needed, or even man. But as long as you're single, because Bunnings is about love, not heartbreak. So for many Aussies, a trip to Bunnings is just part of their weekly routine. So if you don't love it, you best keep that to yourself. Number 4, don't whine about the distance between places. So we all know Australia is enormous. That's why it takes so long to fly there, because it's only about half a mile from the surface of the sun. And why it's so hot. It can take days to drive from one end to the other. Or let's be real, it can take days just to drive across the state of Queensland. So please, don't be surprised and disappointed when it takes you 12 hours to drive from Sydney to Melbourne, because I don't want you to be sad that your holiday has mainly been sitting in a car. So please plan your trips wisely, and remember, the journey is part of the adventure. But if you don't want to spend that journey in the car the entire time, research the places you want to see in Australia and see if the travel time is worth it. And while you're at it, check out some of the smaller towns. They're full of hidden gems and local charm that you just won't find in big cities. And finally, number 5, don't ignore the banter. So Aussies live for cheeky banter and love to trick tourists. Aussies actually don't need food and water to survive. Tricking a tourist will sustain a classic Aussie for around about 100 years, and it makes their hearts so happy. So from warning you about drop bears, which I cannot confirm or deny whether or not they're real because I ain't no snitch, to joking about dangerous animals, it's all in good fun. So show you've got a sense of humour and you'll fit right in. And if an Aussie's making fun of you, it means that they like you. So laugh it off and enjoy the Aussie wit. And what I can tell you, just between me and you, is that Aussies have the ability to telepathically lie and back each other up. So this British guy walked into a pub and asked this Aussie bloke, "Hey, are hoop snakes real?" And the Aussie bloke was like, "Yeah, of course they are." And the British bloke was like, I don't know, I've been tricked by some Aussies before. So he wanted a second opinion and asked this other Aussie guy on the other side of the pub. And these two Aussies didn't know each other, and without even missing a beat, this other Aussie goes, yeah, they're real. Looked him straight in the eye like, yeah mate, you're real. Telepathically all connected. Aussies can speak mind to mind when it comes to banter. True. And hoop snakes? Of course they're real. And there you have it, another 5 things you should not do in Australia. So follow these tips and you'll be on your way to becoming an honorary Aussie. And if I missed anything, please add it into the comments below. And if you're a tourist coming to Australia, make sure you put some Vegemite behind the ears to ward off those drop bears. And I'm that British girl. I'll see you in the next video.